I was challenged by someone on Facebook to exhaust Jacquard Hot Fuchsia. And you know I'm always up for the challenge. So what's the problem? Kidding you. Whenever I do an experiment, I always make sure and present the honest truth to you. So this is the honest truth. Okay, so I did 3 different depths of shade. I did 1%, 0.5%, and 0.25%. So let's take a look at what happened to these when they're done. So these are cooled off. Let me pull this out. So this is the 1% depth of shade. This is pretty pink. This is like Barbie to the max pink. But see how much dye is left in the water? This is really weird. There's some sort of a glow, like a neon glow. Don't know what the reason is that it did not exhaust. Maybe there's some molecule in there that gives it that neon color that it won't adhere to the yarn. I don't know. This is 0.5%. And we still have a little bit of pink in the water. And then this is 0.25%. And it's a lot lighter pink and hardly any dye is left in the water. So I don't know if you would say this exhausted fully. I wouldn't say it exhausted fully, but it exhausted the most. But here's the issue. If you want this deep, dark pink, but it's not exhausting, so this is the 0.5 and this is the 0.25, can you see the difference in the colors? If you want this really deep pink, I may have a solution for you. I have a workaround for you. And I'm going to put it in another video. So when you're done watching this video, head on over to the next one and I'm going to show you how to work around for dyes that don't fully exhaust like this. Now, mind you, I use the correct amount of dye powder, the correct amount of dye solution for the yarn weight. I didn't put too much in here. It is mathematically correct. I just wanted to throw that out there. I didn't put like a ton of dye in there and go, why isn't it exhausting? I used the correct formulation and this still didn't exhaust. Now Purple Pop is about the same way, though I can get it to fully exhaust at 0.5%, which is quite pretty. And same with Teal. Teal has a hard time exhausting at 1%. All right, so head on over to the next video and I'm gonna show you how to do a workaround. This was the 1%. This is the dye jar because it didn't fully exhaust. But I was reading somewhere that they used hot water to rinse it first, then they used cold water. Let's give that a try and see if that works. I'm going to use Kookaburra Wash. This is hot water just from my tap. Put a little bit of soap in that. And I'm going to expect it to release some dye. Let's take a look. So the pink from the yarn is actually reflecting off the silver of the pot, so it's looking pink, but let's take a look and see what that looks like. Even though I would not set yarn in hot water because it can release the dye. So let's take a look. A little bit of pink, not too bad for that, not too bad. I'm going to let this cool down because I don't want to go to hot to cold because I do not want to felt this yarn, so let me let this cool down. And let's try a cold bowl and let's see if that releases any dye. Okay, here's the cold water. And let's put a little bit of that soap in there. And let's put in the yarn that we did in the hot water. Now it's in the cold water. Let's let that sit for a moment. Okay, so if a yarn is going to bleed, it's going to bleed right away. It's not one of those things where I'm going to let it sit and sit and sit and see if it bleeds. It will bleed right away. So let's take a look at it. The water's not pink, so that's pretty interesting in that. And I don't know if I would do the hot first and then the cold, or maybe if I just did cold, that would work. But let's check out the 0.5% depth of shade. Let's put that in this water and let it soak a little bit and see what happens with that one. Okay, so this is the 0.5% in cold water. We did not do the hot with this first. Let's take a look at this one. And I mean, you can barely see a tinge of pink, barely. So that's kind of working out. Not bad. Let's do the 0.25. My yarn got a little tangled, just a teeny bit. And again, just a little bit of pink. Okay, so let's take a look at these yarns side by side in the different colors. That's the 0.25, that's the 0.5, and that's the 1%. And of course they would look different when they're dry, but man, that is bright pink. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.